Hey, welcome everybody to Big Smooth OTV. What today's topic is what got you into anime? We want to know, and we're going to tell you what got us into anime. I'm Big Smooth OTV, and there is Sociopath Batman. So, Sociopath Batman, real quick question for you. What I want to know is what led you into watching anime? And I'm not saying like watching snippets, I'm asking what had you watch anime, like that you started to binge it, that it was so good you just couldn't release and it just took over your mind.
Well, that was the thing too, is that for me, I was watching anime before I even realized I was watching anime, and I think that ended up happening for a lot of people too, because when you were younger, you if you watched Pokemon, you were watching anime, and no one really thought about that. It's just, hey, it's a cartoon at that time in your head. You're not
Speaking on
thinking much
Pokemon, I
about
had a
it.
Pikachu skateboard when I was younger.
Yeah,
But
and before that, even though I wasn't watching it, there was Sailor Moon, which I was yet again not aware it was an anime, but I was suggested to the idea that that was out there. And then sitting there watching Pokemon on a weekly basis, enjoying all the episodes, uh, pulling you in. It's for that before before even hitting that, then you hit Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yet again,
I remember
anime
waking up early
was
on Kids WB
yeah,
for Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
yeah, and before realizing that was anime. But what I have to say, the thing that drew me into anime, what got me to binge it, to where I actually realized I was watching anime, was when I got into Bleach, and that was something that by that time I had an idea of what I like my a character to be like. I like the idea of swordplay. I think I've always been a fan of the idea of swordplay. So being introduced to Bleach, where you have you know these characters that you later find out are part of
Shout out
a
to Sandal
bigger
Hat from Bleach.
uh, they're bigger. They're part of a bigger organization. Part of the spirit world, basically. Which is yet again another thing that drew me and
Hey, when you
wanted
said that, I thought you was about to say Organization 13, bro.
me.
I was like, Kingdom Hearts out here.
But no, I mean the spirit world. Basically the another thing that kind of drew me in was it's a whole organization of soul reapers, and uh,
Mm.
I've enjoyed the idea of of the reaper, the the person that in a way is what takes you from one life to the next. And the way they set it up was they had amazing swordplay. They had the idea of the spirit world, and then you go deeper into that and seeing that it's not simple swordplay. Like there's that these swords have spirits to them. That these swords have abilities that once you unlock them, they're not simply a sword anymore. They can get bigger.
So
Um,
from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you like that filler episode for what was his name? I can't think of his name. It started with Z. Was it Zamasu when he released all the Zanpakutos and they had a life of their own outside of that?
Yeah, I believe so. It was something along the lines of that because I do remember watching bits of that. The ideas where you get to see these, but at the same time you're not getting to see the. Well, that's the thing is I don't officially remember 100%. I believe they were almost they were convinced or they were under like a certain mind control sort of to make them go against the people. They were told or convinced basically that that they were being treated as slaves this entire time, and that they were just simply an item to be used at at the spirit reapers uh, leisure, and so that's why they kind of turned on them. But I did like that. It was because you got to see, you got to kind of see the personality behind that. Because I know that, at least for me, a lot of uh, the only real personality I ever saw in Bleach was Ichigo's one. You know, you see his Zanpakuto character. I don't, but that's maybe that's as far as I had reached. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
was
I
about to
really
say
saw as many.
we can't go too far in on
Yeah,
Bleach because it ended up being some spoilers.
yeah.
But I'm just going to say that what you saw maybe wasn't the Zanpakuto, depending on what you saw. But so what are you saying? So are you saying Yu-Gi-Oh, Sailor Moon, or Bleach? Which one of them made you realize out of the three that you listed, which one of those three made you realize that you was watching something that's just as epic as anime?
Bleach basically was what it was because it was the way I was drawn into it. It was this idea that even though sometimes the battles didn't have to be complete, uh, it wasn't like you were seeing people lose their limbs. At the same time, the the way everything was being played out, you knew people's, in a way, you knew almost like the people's lives were on the line, even if they weren't complete, even if at the end of it they were going to survive, and you knew that they had plot armor and everything. It was
They
the way they, the
how
way
much
they
blood they lost
portrayed.
on a regular basis, man.
Mhm.
Yes, that was the
the,
perfect word for it. Plot
yeah,
armor.
the but the way they were able to portray things, it was the way that you were able um to kind of perceive through the story, and I mean that it's it. I have to say, like, that's what it is for me. It was Bleach definitely was the one that stood out, that really grabbed my attention more than anything. I know Yu-Gi-Oh! I was drawn into it, but like I said, at that time I wasn't aware Yu-Gi-Oh! Was anime. To me,
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh! was just something I was watching as a
I
kid.
remember we were just sitting there playing the card games, man.
Yeah,
Making our own rules up to it, man. Yu-Gi-Oh goes back deeply.
yeah.
But if you were to ask me what got me into anime, the same way as you though, you know, I didn't realize that's what I was watching or the culture of anime and stuff like that. I would go to school. When I come home, I had this little ritual. It was always 3 o'clock on the dot. Start watching Cartoon Network because I know at 4 o'clock Toonami would hit. So I started with the show Reboot, then Sailor Moon would come on, and then Dragon Ball Z would come on, Rurouni Kenshin would come on, and Yu Yu Hakusho would come on. And that was like my lineup every day after school. Like I'll finish my homework in the class so I can get there just to go and just be able to chill and watch that. And I remember what it did to me. Like for example, back in the days that I was there, I used to go outside on bushes and test out my fighting skills from Dragon Ball Z. And I mean, they dragged Dragon Ball Z out for so long. Like the Snake Way episode lasted for a couple of months, man. I used to be like, come on, please, please let's get to the next part as a kid. There were some amazing things on there as well as some bad things. I grew up with Dragon Ball Z, you know. So some people can say I'm biased about the anime that brought me into here. Uh, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh as well. I watched just a lot of different ones. Like something that wasn't an anime, like Batman Beyond. Oh my god! During the kids WB setup, man, dude, that right there. I think it was just fate, basically, because the way I started from all this, I could tell you the stations that I was watching these things on, be it Kids WB, Cartoon Network,
Mhm.
and ABC Family when they had Metabots and things of that sort. I had that list down, man. Like when it came to the TV, that was me. I was there 24/7. Now, the next question I like to pose for you in closing, if you guys are here and watching this or rewatching it or you're watching it live, feel free to write in the comments what anime got you into watching anime and what did it do for you. So moving on to the next section, Sociopath Batman, this is what I want to know. What anime are you watching now? And although you started anime without realizing it back in the day, like once you entered your adult life, were you still watching anime to that extent, or did you start recently?
I started more recently. Like I said, my take into it was, small bits of it when I was younger, and it was, I think one of the main reasons why I wasn't even aware when I was younger that it was taken in was because of the fact of where we were getting it from. It wasn't, I wasn't getting it from Toonami or anything. I was watching it on the, in Kids WB. Sailor Moon would come on UPN, on in the morning times, before I would go to school in the morning.
That used to be
Um,
Sonic for me. Oh wait, that was USA. Never mind.
and it was, kids WB, and then I'm watching, UPM, for Sailor Moon. But being having those shows being put on there, you had things like Yu Yu Hakusho, which was actually airing. I remember when that originally aired, it was being aired also on the kids WB lineup and stuff. And I knew I wasn't in. It didn't draw
When was
me
that? I
in.
don't remember that. Yu Yu
Yeah,
Hakusho
actually,
was on
yeah,
there.
it was actually right around the same time they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Because I remember
Yu
there
Yu
was
Hakusho.
no, oh yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. Because I remember they were playing it on that, and it was crazy because I
You sure it
some
wasn't Earl Goes to Camp? Because that used to come on a lot.
no, actually was Yu Yu Hakusho because I remember the green jumpsuit, the green jumpsuit and his pompadour haircut they had. Like that stood out to me since the very get go. I just never got into it until now. But yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho was playing on. Was part of that kids WB lineup on, I think, Saturdays most likely, or it might have been actually during the weekdays. But I know it was actually playing um during that time when we were in high school and then stuff like
I
that.
don't remember it, but if you remember it, then I'm gonna say it was there too. You know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to agree because I didn't look. I didn't even realize because I know they when they switched the shows off, stuff like Shaolin Showdown and stuff started coming on, and I
Yeah.
was messing with that, even though that was more cartoony.
Yeah.
I don't know what people would consider that anime or cartoon, but
Well,
yes.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought that Sonic X is considered anime, and apparently that is actually considered an anime. I mean that's the thing too, is that it's just uh, to me, I didn't know what the definition of anime was, other than when I knew that when they were playing stuff on Toonami, and then later on when they'd play, when as I got older, when you'd see some of the stuff played on Adult Swim, in the later points in when they were playing uh, uh, some of the more adult content type stuff out there.
Aqua
I
Team
knew
Hunger
that.
Force,
Well, Alcatraz Hunger Force, but uh, Metapocalypse, uh, the Boondocks,
Acid
uh,
McGee,
yeah.
Space Ghost
um,
Coast to Coast,
but at the same time, then
Borat.
they were airing, that was when they were airing Cowboy Bebop, because at that point already had aired, on its regular run, so now it was airing. And seeing that, I was aware, and then I guess that at that time they were also running Bleach. That was before I was watching it,
They
but
also were doing Yu Yu Hakusho again too, because I
yeah,
remember going to school, and I used to wake up, and around 5 a.m. in the morning they'll be playing episodes that I haven't seen of Yu Yu Hakusho. Like I didn't know Yusuke transformed. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but I didn't know he transformed until I did that. So I got up and I started recording this on my VHS. You know.
mhm. Well, and so I wasn't aware that anime was already in my life before, but the thing was is that I didn't get into it, to that deeper extent, to the point of really appreciating it, past simply saying, oh, this is just uh a cartoon that I'm watching. This is art. This is something that someone has put time and effort into. This isn't just something um for a little kid to watch. This
Hmm.
actually has a story to it that actually has merit. That's actually going to mean something. And at the same time, like they they there's animes that can ride that line perfectly of knowing when to make a joke and know when to be serious. And
Hmm.
and having that not be done in such a cartoonish way. It's that when the humor's there, it's more of a uh, how would you would put it, but it's less of a cartoony as more of it's a realistic humor, even if it does
Hmm.
have a cartoonish background to it.
Real life values.
Yeah. So, so getting into an anime for me wasn't until later in life when I was already an adult where I could actually appreciate what I was watching and actually take in and see that and see the story that was being put in front of me and see that like I said, I wasn't watching simply a cartoon, but I was watching a piece of art. It was uh, you know, and I think it's weird. You see comic books, and comic books have still even with their fine detail, they still kind of have that cartoony look to them, and anime has that same way with the manga. It can kind of have that cartoony look at sometimes, but at the same time, it can. There are moments where you can see in those scenes that, by the definition of uh, certain things, that things are getting serious, and so you're able to kind of appreciate those moments in both when you're reading the manga and when you're watching the anime. In the same way you're seeing some of these uh, newer comics, like some of the darker Batman comics, where the detail is real fine, and you're seeing a serious story being put out there, versus the 1960s, very humorous, OG Willikers, Kung Pao,
OG
Batman,
Willikers.
where it was a lot of like jokes that where we get a lot of the popping out just random villains just for the sake of having comics come out. You're seeing a more detailed story. You're seeing the loss of characters. You're seeing the breakdown of a character, and going all the things they're going through in the same way you can do with anime. You're given a character and you're seeing that character go through some hardships. At least most of the ones I've watched
So
do.
from what I gather, what you said, it sounds like you're saying you got into anime a lot more later in your life,
Yeah.
and it was just a big ball of complexity that was in the actual animes that you were watching. So I want to kind of move on to the second question. I want to know what anime series that you're watching right now.
Right now, the big one that I'm watching is One Piece. One Piece is the one that I've invested the majority of my time into. It's the one that I keep telling myself, "Oh, I'm just gonna finish up, these last few episodes, and then I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna watch something else." And the thing is, I'm coming up on the end of this next arc, and there ain't no way I'm gonna stop. Like I'm keeping this train going
Someone
because
trying to stop you? Who trying to
no,
stop you?
I'm if I have to throw some extra anime in between, I will. But like, I just can't stop right now. It it's too good to stop. And so right now, yeah, One Piece is the one that I has taken up all my time for the most part. Yes.
How's it going, Lexi Saranio? All right. So that's what's up. One Piece. Like as we said yesterday in yesterday's episode, I rock with One Piece pretty hard. I know it's not popular, you know. It's not
Yeah.
popular to like One Piece nowadays. Uh it's you get popular by hating it, I guess, but uh I watch a lot of anime. I'm gonna be serious. I watch a lot of anime in my daily time. I consume a lot of it. So, with that being said, the one anime that I'm kind of watching right now, it's many of them. I'm also watching the Chinese versions of animes. They call it donguas. But my best anime I'm watching now is Tokyo Revengers because even though I made a joke to you earlier about how Takemichi he gets so like worked up and says things like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go back in the past and I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna fight for everything." And then it's like he gets way in over his head and he can't handle any of the stuff that's happening. So the camera will pan to someone doing some crazy techniques, crazy fighting techniques, and somebody's really kicking butt, and then it'll go to him and he'll be like, Bajikan. You know, he'll say some stuff like that with tears in his eyes because he literally couldn't do anything. Uh, it's ups and downs with that show. The reason why I'm watching that one right now because it kind of reminds me of ReZero, and I am a huge ReZero fan. Like I read the light novel, and the anime did a great job portraying the novel, but I want the anime to go further. So right now, Tokyo Revengers is what I'm watching because it reminds me of a lot of ReZero. Like you get to go back and have another chance. Now, to answer the question, the second question, I think I already did, didn't I? I think I was talking so fast that it already gone and went. You know, like what the heck? But I guess it's time for us to move on to some more questions. So, if Bleach got you into anime like in your adult life, like later on in life, why isn't Bleach your favorite anime?
Uh, so much. The real big reason Bleach isn't my favorite anime at the moment is more of just because I of the bad was bad timing. It was a situation of me getting into it at an earlier time of my life when at that time I had a little bit more free time where I was watching that one, and then I got busy doing other things. And when I fell off of it, I didn't come back to it right away. And then right before I actually got into my anime binge that got me to where I'm now, I actually had started rewatching Bleach and to catch back up where I was at. I got
Hmm.
quite a few further than I had actually was originally. I want to say probably I was able to kill at least a good 35 extra episodes out, but then I got busy again, fell off of it, and then that's when I got into my anime binge and tried to take time watching different things. The one that grabbed my attention first was Dragon Ball, and then Dragon Ball Z, and then going into that, then it was just checking into other ones. So for me, it's not my problem is that why Bleach isn't my favorite one is because One Piece grabbed my attention and kept it entertained without making me feel like there were some moments in Bleach I felt like were a bit they dragged on a little bit more. And One Piece has kind of kept me entertained a lot longer without feeling like it's completely dragged on, with the exception of the Alabaster arc, which just was a could have taken a little bit of a they could have taken a shortcut, through there a bit. But with the most part, Bleach is a really great anime. I definitely will get back into that. But One Piece, the story just grabbed me in a different way right now that Bleach
You
just didn't.
know, you know what you just said about One Piece. I mean, Bleach dragging on and One Piece isn't. Some people that are in the latter episodes, they will argue with you on that. You know, because they feel One Piece gives you 10 minutes of
I have heard
yeah,
that.
videos, and then it's like they just start pacing, and it's like to be continued.
Yeah.
So I
I
understand.
I have heard that someone actually made that remark today. I was listening to someone, and they had said the problem with One Piece fillers is that with One Piece fillers is they get to a point where they give you so much of the playback of the previous episodes, and then also what's going to happen the next episode that you only get maybe between 7 to 10 minutes of new content, and even that isn't really that great. It's just like, oh, well, they went to this island. The end. On next week. And so I have heard that, and so I haven't reached that point yet where I have had to deal with that. Um, I know that there were moments in Bleach that just well, at that time too, I wasn't aware of what a filler episode was either. So
Mm.
for me, I was watching this thinking that everything I'm watching is relevant. and that everything I'm watching is part of the story,
What's this
not
on Bleach or
realizing
One Piece?
this was on Bleach at this time.
I was about to say,
Everything I was
I
watching,
know
I
it was
thought was
Bleach. I don't even know why I
was
asked the question. We knew it was Bleach.
yeah. So everything I was watching was filler. I wasn't filler. I thought that everything was part of the story. So I wasn't aware of filler episodes so much later. Of oh yeah, well that stuff you were watching, that's all filler. That wasn't even part of the manga. That was stuff that while they were getting the anime, put together, they needed to have some time in between. So they put these things in, and that's what this is. It's meant to fill in the spaces until they get new content that's actually part of the story. So I
Mhm.
wasn't aware of that. Now it's like now it's a little easier to kind of notice fillers because it's you can kind of tell depending on what you're watching. Like with One Piece, it was harder in the beginning because of the fact that it's just him on an adventure.
Yeah.
But Dragon Ball, you could tell where some of the filler episodes were because the story didn't really have anything to do with the progression of what was going on, other than it was just, hey, this person's on an adventure, and this is just, at the very end, maybe something was kind of resolved, but nothing that really is going to benefit the story very much. So you could kind of tell in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z where the filler episodes were, where they weren't, where it could have been cut out or where it wasn't as relevant to the story.
All right.
Other things.
So without saying the Planet Namek one or them going towards Namek on an adventure with Krillin and Bulma, I need for you to tell me one filler in Dragon Ball Z and then one filler in Dragon Ball that you can remember distinctly that made you feel like, why is this even here?
Let's see. For Dragon Ball, it would have been during. It would have been right during. I want to say right before the second. Was it right before the second one? Oh no, no, it was right before the third. Right before the third tournament that Goku was done, and when he was uh up in the tower. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm not going to go too much into it, but he was up in the tower. And there were what I ended up finding out in the manga, it he goes up and then hey, now they're at the tournament. So finding out that all those episodes where he's training, which to me, don't get me wrong, some of those episodes were relevant. I felt like could have
I was about to say a
could
training arc is always relevant to me.
but like the one where he goes to the Thunder Mountain thing and he's trying, which I guess in the long run it kind of helped him um work on his reflexes because of the fact I think that was also where he was fishing and he had to learn to not move his body in a way and then at the same time move his body like you kind of like go into a point of stasis where you almost become invisible, and because of that, I think that. So I don't know if there was very. I'm trying to remember. I know there was one in Dragon Ball, but I cannot name it at the moment. Dragon Ball Z is a little bit easier
Yeah.
because uh, Garlic Junior Saga. That
Well,
was
I mean, Garlic Junior Saga was pretty
I
cool.
tried to watch it, and I just it was boring to me. I just could
Yeah,
not
yeah.
get
Like
into it.
I'm not gonna say it wasn't boring, but it was pretty cool because what they did, they used the Garlic Junior Saga. Like this is the reason why I kind of appreciate it. They used that to showcase Gohan because they knew what was about to happen in the next saga, which was the Cell Saga. So for me, that one there, which I know was a filler, it was relevant to bring Gohan in the front, to make him bigger than what we thought it was. Like when Gohan became the centerfold, we kind of in the back of our mind, wait, Goku stopped training in the hyperbolic time chamber. Oh yeah, that means it's Gohan's time to shine. We already seen it with Garlic Jr. Oh, some of the fans are going to go towards Gohan because of it, but that's my personal thought. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm saying it kind of, what I'm saying, just foreshadows Gohan being the hero this time around for me.
Yeah. And well, and then to branch off from that, I think one of the main reasons I had an issue with the Garlic Jr. saga wasn't even so much the Garlic Jr. part. It was a blue-haired uh, Marin, I believe was her name, or
Lunch.
and she just she was annoying. And to branch off
What?
of that, it would be the episode during the Android saga where she came to the Kami house looking for Krillin, and they spent, I think it was a couple episodes with her there, and she just basically was annoying. And that was my first take to her before the Garlic Jr. saga. So when I went back and rewatched it and had to watch this thing with just her in it, I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is going to be a long thing. Can this be over already? So I believe it was probably more of the whole Marin thing than anything else. I believe I'm not
See,
sure that's her name or not, but
I can't really say that's a filler. I'm gonna say that's a character you don't like, because I'm not saying Dragon Ball Z is perfect, and I'm not even saying that's my favorite anime. You already know what my favorite anime is, but what I have to do is give Dragon Ball Z its respect because, for me, when I started thinking about just anime in itself, you know, that's what literally got me to want to watch further, which got me to start reading Japanese subtitles. Dragon Ball Z and Naruto is what got me to do that because I wanted to see further. While everyone else was disliking GT, for me, I was enjoying it, some parts of it, because some of the other parts were just no. So the moment that just took me away and made me was like, yeah, I love this because I was playing Sonic 2, Sonic 3 back in these days, and we had Super Sonic. Now you come out on the opposite side. Now we're rocking with what Goku ends up becoming, bro.
I advise against placing too much stock in your escape, though if you like, I can bring you closer to home.
I saw a G.
No, Frieza! Don't do it! Please, no! Goku!
Frieza made popcorn.
I think the brat should go next.
movie theater.
You ruthless, heartless bastard!
This moment here, but in the Dragon Ball Z, we had lightning coming down from the sky. Boom, 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 boom. I won't let you get away with this, Frieza. That's what we had. You could feel the animosity, everything in Goku at this moment, man. You know what I'm saying? And he just muscle bound, just I feel the power. And
I will make you suffer!
he didn't say this, so he didn't say I'll make you suffer. I can tell you that. And you see this? Look at this epic shot. Now, as a youngster, how could I not look at that as amazing? I'm like, bro, this is epic.
Episode 95.
See, the way you remember that is how I remember episode 50 of Bleach when Ichigo just came out there just murking things. Like, just murking things. Like, I don't understand for some people who grew up with it to just throw it to the wayside, because I got several friends that I talk to, and some of them are like, man, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, but I kind of outgrew it because they're better anime. I'm like, yes, there are better anime, but you always have to remember the one that got you into those other anime. We all know that Dragon Ball Z is the godfather of anime, right?
Shoot,
Now,
Dragon Ball Z was playing behind in the background while we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So Dragon
exactly.
Ball Z was part of my life before Dragon Ball Z was actually part of my life.
And that's why sometimes I don't understand the mindset of people that do things just because they think it's cool. For me, Dragon Ball Z will always be goated. Now, I won't say Dragon Ball Z is the best anime, as we just said. Again, I can't reiterate what I'm saying here. My favorite anime is Katekyo Hitman Reborn. It's a very slept-on anime. Some people know about it. Some people are starting to know about it, but I'll just put up a scene of it right now. This is one of my favorite characters from there. His name is Yamamoto. He uses this weapon. Uh, Lexi Serrano. Why does everyone hate on DBZ? Then let me tell you. The same way they hate on it's not even a screaming because every anime has that. Even Black Clover and a lot of people are on that. They hate Dragon Ball Z for the simple fact that it's cool to hate Dragon Ball Z. It's cool to hate One Piece. It's cool to hate Dragon Ball Z. It's cool to hate Boruto. Now Boruto's in. I actually gave it a try. 100 and something episodes. Wasn't my cup of tea just yet. You know, they told me to keep watching that, but I, woo, I'll try to. But Dragon Ball Z, man, look, I'm just be real. The story's good. Dragon Ball, if you start from Dragon Ball, the story is amazing.
Oh yeah,
But
that's how I did it.
yeah, Dragon Ball story is amazing. Dragon Ball Z kind of got more about power levels, but it's still good. I give it like a 7.5. And I like Naruto as well. I give Naruto a 7, you know, because it's basically Dragon Ball Z with just a little bit of more and different abilities. So it looks like go ahead.
I do believe that the power level thing was another reason why a lot of people like to hate on Dragon Ball Z. Is that because the power levels got a little bit? It got because of the Saiyan and Frieza saga doing with the Scouters. You start off with, oh, this person's got like 300 power level, and then all of a sudden, oh, this person's got over 1,000,000, and then
Yeah.
it just grows.
Progression.
And people at that point were like, well, at this point, can you take anything seriously past that? So I do know a lot of people do kind of throw the power level thing, how they get so intense and now we're at Super where
come on, bro.
Super Saiyan God. And
give me a better reason. Give me a better reason. Now, if you're saying Dragon Ball,
it's awesome. I love that.
If you're saying Dragon Ball Super, now that I can understand because that was all over the place with power levels. But if you're just talking about Dragon Ball Z as a whole, no, you're literally fighting aliens. So it's going to show you from where you're coming. Where you're coming from. You might have been the strongest on your planet. That's big, small pond, big fish. You feel me? So when you go higher, of course, you're going to meet people who are higher than you, higher beings. Yeah. Now, no excuse for Dragon Ball Super. I no excuse for that one. But again, when I make these anime skits, I'm always thinking about most of the, the anime that I watch, like what stood out to me and stuff like that. And even if we don't even have the best production, I have fun making these. You understand? And the one I haven't made one of is my favorite one. Just this clip right here. It's not the best clip. There's no HD version.
徳式10の型スコントロディロンディネ
See what I mean? Come on, bro. My favorite anime right there. Reborn. I know you see this little dude, bro. He's amazing. Dragon Ball Z is great. One Piece is great.
I feel like a lot of people who think that Dragon Ball Z with the power levels got out of hand. If you think that the power levels are out of hand and you want to feel like things are a little bit more on par, then watch Dragon Ball, because that's what Dragon Ball was. Dragon Ball was where it was more down to earth.
It was more martial arts than anything.
Yeah, it was more martial arts. As it got later on, then you were introduced into more powerful people who may or may not be from this, of this
General
planet.
Tai, bro. General Tai was a savage. He was murdering everybody easily.
And so there were, as it got later on, but you gradually were introduced into it. So by the time Dragon Ball Z comes around, now you have to step it up. Now it's like, well, he's already fought, this dude. Now he's fought this dude's son. Now he's got to fight who, and so it's like, well, now we got to send, someone from another planet, or to send someone, from another time, or send someone who that's a crazy robot. something
Mm.
has got to be the next level up, and because of that, you always have to increase that thing. It's always got
But
to be.
see, if I ask you this question here, but isn't that all Shonen Jump anime? Like
That's
for
what
an
it felt
example,
like. Yes, I
yeah,
mean that's what it
for
felt
an
like
example,
watching.
let's go with Naruto. You don't honestly hear them talking about power levels, but what
No,
do they say? How much chakra does he have? You know what I'm saying? So you deal with that. You go to One Piece. You know, oh, the devil fruits. How strong is that guy? We need to train more. Me, you know, from Luffy.
yeah.
It's the same way. Like most shonen jumps are set up. You beat the first guy that was kind of hard. Then you go, you fight a medium person. Then you fight a harder person, and then you fight the hardest person. Like this is just that genre. That's the way
You
it
have to
works.
feel it the same
So
way.
exactly. So to hold that to against Dragon Ball Z, me personally, I wouldn't understand it. Now somebody told me Dragon Ball Z is not my favorite anime. I think it's bad. I'm like, okay, I understand that. If that's the way you feel, cool. Now, I never watched Dragon Ball Z Kai. I watched Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
I know for me, Dragon Ball Z is kind of what I grew up on, so it has a nostalgic values to them. That's why I watch it. You know, that's why I can say it's a pretty good one. A lot of people, you know, watching newer anime. A lot of people were introduced to Demon Slayer. So because we're asking the question, what introduced you or what got you into anime? Lexi, by the way, you can answer that question too in the comments. What anime got you into anime, or what got you into anime? But some people were introduced into Demon Slayer. So once they watched Demon Slayer, oh my god, his sword changed water. Now it's fire. You know, to me, that's what that looks like. But I'm not going to downplay Demon Slayer because it has some really great animations and it has some really great story pacing. And because of that, I'm going to say Demon Slayer was a pretty good anime. But the people who started with Demon Slayer, if they go back, oh man, I can't watch these other anime. They drag on. The animation are bad. Oh my, I can't understand how somebody can watch One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach. You know, I can understand Tokyo Ghoul after the first season, but
Yeah, I know. I heard that one.
yeah, after the first season, yeah, Tokyo Ghoul. But I think it's about what you were introduced into. You know, like if you were introduced into an older anime and that had slower pacing, you're okay with a slower mid to fast pacing because you got the slowest one. If you're introduced into one that's faster, sometimes you don't want to go backwards or you feel you're going backwards and that this anime can't be good because now you're on the 30th episode and he just now got his first ability, which is weak. That's what I grew up watching though, you know. But and that's kind of what spun me out to want to watch and seek more anime. And it's not all shown in Jump. Like I said, you remember earlier before we got in here, I was just listing off Toradora, you know, quintessential quintuplets. Like I love slice of life anime as well. I love it all, you know,
Yeah.
because it's the story. If it has a great story, I can watch it. It can have limited action, but if it has a great story, I will watch it. But
I
to
mean,
you,
another great one that was less of about the idea of the fighting aspect, but was based on the horror trope. Was which one of my favorite ones that you had recommended to me was another. Well,
oh, another.
only 12 episodes, but I mean, it if you're willing to put the time in, it is a great thing to watch, especially if you're a horror fan. It feeds that need for a horror film, for horror buffs need to watch bad things happen to people.
I had to put that back up there, man, because it's a sad face on there by
Yeah.
Lexi Soriano. I'm a. Why does everyone hate on Dragon Ball Z then, Lexi? I just want to say this to you. I don't know. I really don't know. It's not that bad. And me saying not that bad doesn't mean it's bad. I'm just saying I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. I recommend it to people. I recommend that to people before I recommend ReZero and stuff like that to people. If you see this, you can leave a comment and tell me if you like Dragon Ball Z or not. It's okay if you don't. I don't know why people hate Dragon Ball Z, man. Especially
The,
Bleach. Especially
the
Bleach.
Oh, I know. Don't even get me started on that one. Well, the crazy thing too is that I've heard a lot of people say that if you didn't get into Dragon Ball Z, when you were younger, uh, especially trying to get into it as an adult, it's not going to hit you the right way. That it's going to come off, uh, as kind of silly because of the fact that there are elements in there that is just kind of far fetched. But for me, I
Like
got
what?
into
Hold on.
anime.
Far fetched. Where? Where?
Well, that's what everyone basically told me was that the way things go into there is that
Where?
the show can be a little bit far fetched at times. So I went into it, and I think maybe because I started with Dragon Ball,
Dragon
and
Ball.
Dragon Ball
You knew the
has a lot
characters
of
and stuff.
those goofy elements into it that you're built onto those characters. You get adjusted to the personalities that those characters have, and so by the time Dragon Ball Z hits, all those little goofy quirks that these characters have are now staples that you have now accepted, and it's
You
not
just
so.
said something. You just said something, and it just resonated with me. You just said you had to go to Dragon Ball, and it set the characters up. Now, really quick, because I know you watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z doesn't introduce characters from the jump. So if somebody starts from Dragon Ball Z, remember they don't know who the heck anybody is because they did no choices of literally introducing people. So it's, you have to watch Dragon Ball in
Which
order to understand it.
I am baffled by the people who just were like, yeah, I'm just gonna start on Dragon Ball Z, and I'm thinking like, watching it from the very get go, I'm like, how did you do this? Because there are so many plot holes, and I don't even say plot holes, so many holes that are left unfilled when you enter into this that you're just supposed to be like, oh, okay, these are people that apparently all exist in this world, and you're late you get into several episodes in, and there's dinosaurs in the freaking thing, and you're like, well, what time does this take place? Because they got cars that are flying around too. So it's weird. It's if you haven't been introduced into Dragon Ball from the very get go and watched it, you're going to be kind of lost going into that.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I felt like you kind of have to start from the beginning for a lot of these things. Even me, I know a lot of people uh, just started with Naruto Shippuden. I don't know if you pronounce I cannot how you pronounce that.
You
Uh,
pronounce it.
um,
Or some people
but
like to say
I started from the very
Shippuden.
get go. I started with the very beginning Naruto and stuff, where because I wanted to know who this character was.
Who's the
And
screaming kid is because
yes,
Naruto screamed a
and
lot.
it was very hard to take in at times because Naruto has a very high pitched voice.
All right, Sociopath Batman, as you have the floor, go ahead and read what Lexi said for me.
Naruto and Dragon Ball Z were the first ones I watched. I grew out of them eventually, but when I grew older, we're still keeping up with it. Eventually started just hating on it, saying everyone's too OP. Yeah, the
Oh
OP
man.
part is what makes it great. It's like
Well,
because you
if
gotta
you're
have
talking about
things
the
be
newer
OP.
anime, man, if you're talking about the newer anime, most of these characters are overpowered as well. I'm sorry to
Oh,
say it.
look
Yeah.
at My Hero Academia right there. I
Oh my
mean,
God.
you
Let's not talk
literally
about that one.
you start to show off with saying that, oh yeah, 80% of people just started getting powers all of a sudden, and that's just the way life is. Oh, okay,
Just
and
keep
then
moving.
yeah, you just keep moving, and it's like, okay, that's just how things are going. So it's like you have a thing where it's like it's not like the X-Men where, oh well, some people were born with mutant powers, and oh, it's got to be hush hush. It's, oh well, everyone's celebrating it, like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
that was a funny dynamic. Now that you said it, versus X Men versus My Hero Academia, that's an opposite universe, bro. Like because X Men, like you said, you have to be quiet or they shun you. They're coming, they're hunting you. But My Hero Academia, oh yeah,
well, and then also with X-Men is that X-Men was kind of created as a to be a statement, during during the time where we had racism and stuff going on. Stan Lee was creating these characters that were different, that uh had to face people, basically being at risk, of being found out who they were. And so X-Men, the way, their hush hushness of it was something during to their time, where My Hero Academia is just simply, hey, you got powers, but you got people who, can do really crazy things. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, you got, it's crazy to look at people who say, well, it's OP, with Dragon Ball Z. But like I said, if you start from the very beginning, yeah, Goku is incredibly strong, but even he has his limits from the very get go. Like he grows up, he gets stronger as the story progresses, and so by the time Dragon Ball Z hits, there is this thing of, well, he's already the strongest in the world basically, now he's
Yeah.
gotta, you gotta step it up. So he's gotta keep getting stronger. So it's the level just has to keep
Every
raising up.
every Shonen Jump character,
Yeah.
like for to what Lexi said, right? Grew out of them eventually, but when I got older, people were still keeping up with them, with it, and eventually started just hating on it and saying everyone's too OP. Now, you saw that reasoning right there, right? That
Yeah.
the people, this is the reason the people. This is not Lexi saying it. It's saying they don't like it because it's too OP. So answer me this: why do those same people love One Punch Man? And One Punch Man is
Oh
literally in his
man.
name. Think about it. One punch. What does that mean? OP. What does that mean? Overpowered. It's connected. So with that being said, the people who like One Punch Man, hey, look, I like it too. The dude's funny. He's a
It's
cue
good.
ball head,
It's
and,
hilarious.
and he got some pretty good animations, graphics, punches. I even like season two. A lot of
Yeah,
people didn't like
it
season two.
started
They
season two
they were
actually.
complaining. It was like the animation style is different. I was like,
Yeah.
man, can I get some more? That was
Yeah.
a great season, And I people are introduced into anime at different stages, so it's okay for them to have favorites and some that they don't like. Now, for me, if it's a collective thing, like as far as everyone just going on, one person starts and say, "Hey, I hate My Hero," then the next person comes out and say, "You know what? I ain't even seen it, but me too." And then that continues to go on. It keeps people from watching some of the better anime. You know,
Yeah.
so I watched some very bad graphics in anime, and they were good. Now, the one that I can't say that was good that had bad graphics, Tower of God. There's a lot of people who swear by Tower of God. They're like, man, that anime was amazing. I say, yeah, cardboard paper. They were cardboard paper cutouts. I looked past that and still gave it a chance. And it was supposed to hit on the intellectual side because I love those too. But I ended up liking this anime called Roka better. Like this one guy proclaims he's the strongest person in the world, you know, and because he's proclaiming he's the strongest in the world, you're thinking he's going to be like physically strong, mentally strong, and stuff like that. But you find out later that he uses traps like thumbtacks and all this stuff to fight people, which I thought was a different dynamic on an overpowered character. Uh, so the story goes, there's supposed to be 5 heroes or 6 heroes that are supposed to stop the demons or the demon lords from coming and invading the world. So when they got there, there was an additional one. So now we're trying to find out, just like the game Among Us, who's the spy, who's the one that's trying to kill us. And they go through, oh my god, like the complexities of the arguments of them trying to pin or just find out who is the bad guy was brilliant. And it was another one of those short episodes you were talking about, like that have like 12 episodes, and it was great. To me personally, someone else watching it probably wouldn't think the same, but because like I said, I was brought up on anime younger and a slower paced one. If anime is a slow paced, medium, or whatever, did my battery die? I think my battery and my camera died just then. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, yes.
Okay. Let me try to get that fixed really quick.
Well, I can definitely say, touch on something that is a bit slower pace is when I will bring back up again that I do enjoy. That was the first few episodes. If you're only take the time to watch the first 3 episodes, you're not going to get the experience that you're supposed to. And that's Another, because Another is a bit slow in the very beginning. The first 3 or 4 episodes, you're building into a story, and it I don't want to say drags on, but you're being fed information at such a rate that if you're not paying attention the proper way, you'll miss important details that you might just think are slow, drawn out, unnecessary scenes are actually, very well placed hints of what is actually going on. So by the time that 5th episode does hit, and everything starts to kind of hit the fan, uh, basically, uh, you've already invested that bit of time into it that now you're like, okay, what just happened? I gotta see, and at that point, you're just riding by the seat of your pants through the rest of the series. And to me, I know when I first started it, I getting through those first few episodes, I was thinking, well, okay, this is a little bit, not exactly what I was expecting. I feel like there's something here, but I'm not exactly sure. And then, like I said, hitting that episode, where everything just basically all kind of slightly starts coming together, and you see the the craziness that's about to ensue. From that point on, you're just like, what's gonna happen next? And you just want to keep going.
Sorry about that. My camera died, and I really do understand what you're saying about Another because Another was an anime that kind of surprised the heck out of me because as I was watching it, I was like, I know this sounds and seems like it's going to be creepy, you know, with the girl with the iris and all this in her eye. So I'm kind of like on a fence, like how crazy is this going to get, you know?
Same.
And next thing you know, bodies are dropping, and I'm like, what? This is what this enemy turned into. And as you get further, you start understanding why people were pretending that she wasn't there. Now I don't want to do a spoiler, but the name of the anime is called Another. I'm gonna go ahead and type that just in case you guys haven't seen it. That's the name of the anime. That's the one that we both recommend for you guys to check out. You see that? I introduced him to it, baby. But yeah, man. So again, Lexi, you were saying you got into Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. Now, do you feel the same way about Naruto? Do you feel about Dragon Ball Z? Or I know you said you grew out of them, but what are you watching now? If you don't mind me asking. And while that's going on, Jerry, what type of anime is going to be your next adventure?
You know, I want to branch out from some of the fighting ones that I have been watching, some of the more gory ones. I know that there have been ones that I've been, hearing about that are more of the more relaxed. I don't want to say more relaxed because that's not even the thing. Um, I guess you would have to fall into the slice of life things. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really interested in looking into them, but the
Come
more that
on,
I've heard on different
come
ones,
to the slice of
there
life
are
side as well.
there are different ones that I have heard that have enough interest in there that uh without having to be so uh how would I put it uh, without having to be so off the wall with, oh, this has superpowers or anything. Even if it has a supernatural element to it, like in the way that
Mm-hmm.
your name sort of is, I don't want to say supernatural, but the way things take
It's
place,
pretty supernatural.
it's the way things take place. It's interesting enough to be uh, to not have to have that super crazy fighting or someone having their head ripped off, but at the same time have a story that you want to be connected to and want to see how this is going to end. You
Look,
know,
let me warn you really quickly because I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Slice of life doesn't mean your emotions will not get played with. There's some
no,
good ones out there, you know. There's some very good ones out there, man, and there's some that just make you boo-hoo cry. Like, one second, Lexi said, I don't watch anything now. I don't know where to watch anime. My brother said Crunchyroll, but then he said it sucks, so I don't know where he's watching anime now.
I could tell you, depending on whether you watch it dub or sub. For me, I watch it dub, which I know a lot of people do not recommend. A lot of it has to do with the voice acting.
It's
Uh,
not that I don't recommend dub. It's just it's this one voice actor that just ruins the whole show for me. Like the whole show, I can be vibing with the show and I can be watching it and I'm like, oh my god, this anime is good, and then it speaks and I'm like, oh my god, who gave this person that job? I mean, I'm glad they got the job because they gotta eat and stuff, but still, why?
yeah.
Just why?
I do know that there are the people that they don't like it
Gary,
for two reasons.
Lexi has a question for you.
I know why do people hate dub.
I just gave you my reason for why I dislike some dubs. I do enjoy some dubs. Don't get me wrong. It's just that one voice actor that ruins it for everybody.
The two reasons I hear the most is one is the voices. Sometimes you have to deal with bad voice acting, which I could totally understand because I have heard some of the and I don't want to trash on them, but some of those ocean dubs are stupid. Like they are the most
Why do you go
generic
to ocean dubs out of
sounding.
all of them, man?
I've heard the Dragon Ball Z Ocean dub, some of the episodes, and those are some of the most generic voices. Like those are Costco brand, Kirkland voices. That's not even that. Those are Kmart brand voices. That's
Oh
why they're
my
like out of
god, man.
business. It's out of business. They're not. It's not good. I know I know that these are people that get paid, but these people are clearly getting paid too much. But I do know that it has to do with the voice acting. People are super big on that. Another reason is that the uh, the translation. That when you're getting the sub, you're getting
Curse words,
curse words, but you're also getting different aspects because you're getting different cultural stuff.
different
Uh,
analogies. Yeah.
Japanese and Chinese heritage have different things that are a little more acceptable there that may not be so acceptable in America. So
Mhm.
I know with the Dragon Ball sub and dub, there is a episode with General Blue where in the sub he sees a little boy and says, "My type." In America, they didn't play that.
Yeah,
They like
That's understandable.
they made it seem like he was his. He was reminiscent like this little boy was like his little brother that apparently
Mm.
passed on.
That
So
was smart.
there is
That was a
yeah,
nice
that
little
is a
smart.
smart decision. I do have to agree on that one. But yeah, there is the translation, the culture background, the differences. So I do know that that is another reason that people don't like dub because it takes away from the originality that was already put there. I know for me, I enjoy dub from simply because it is harder for me to focus on what I'm watching and also be reading. And for me, I work early in the morning or I work late at night. So my free time is going to be either, after I get off work or right before I go to work. And if I have to sit there and stare at something, it hurts my eyes and I'm not going to be as invested into the show as much. And so it
Mm.
is harder for me to enjoy sub the same way that I can enjoy dub. I do know that though I have heard some voices that just set me up, set me off feeling weird.
Which voice?
I
Which anime? Which voice? What anime?
I
Brothers
was gonna
Ambitious
say
says, "I am Team Dragon Ball Z." See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what you Dragon Ball Z is still there. Dragon Ball Z ain't go nowhere. It just people started disrespecting it, so it became cool.
I do know that there is one voice that I am a huge fan favorite of, and it is Christopher Sabat. He
Oh,
is one
for
of my
sure.
favorite voice actors simply because his voice stands out. No matter what I'm watching now, if I hear something, I'm like, hey, I'm pretty sure that's the bot right there. I
Didn't he
mean,
give you an autograph as well?
not yet. I definitely want to meet him at a convention and get his autograph. Probably get him to sign my Muranorzilla figure,
Oh
or
yeah.
even have him to sign my posters I have of him. I mean, I have the Weekend All Might. That would be great to have. I mean, this dude's got his voices for some of the best characters out there. You got Piccolo, you got Vegeta, you got All Might. You got I could never pronounce his name right, but he's one of my favorite ones in Yu Yu Hakusho. Kuwabara.
Cool
Uh,
bar.
yeah, I mean,
Oh man.
you name it, he's done the voice for it. So I definitely enjoy him as a voice actor. He's one of my favorite ones. Uh, I have heard. I can't think of the anime at the time. I'm pretty sure there probably were some voices in Bleach that just kind of like were like couldn't you have found someone better? Like you could just tell
What's her name?
the
What's
character
her name?
doesn't match up to the person who's
Orihime.
playing.
Orihime.
Oh, Orihime.
Orihime.
Her
Man.
voice, I will not lie, does bug me.
Hey,
It is annoying to the extent that it's too high pitched.
it's too much effort on the voice for me.
Yeah.
Now, maybe somebody else will like it, so I'm not going to say it's just terrible, but I know some that's way more terrible than that, and I'm not even going to speak it because I don't even want you to do it because I feel like if you come to me and say, "Oh, bro, I heard it," I think I'm going to catch PTSD like just out of nowhere because of that. But since you said you like dub anime, I'm about to write in the comment section right now one that I think you should try out. It has 2 seasons to it. It had all right, so it has a little slice of life action to it. It also has some Shonen Jump action to it, and it's also really really funny. Now I might have told you this one before, but I'm not sure if you watched it. So let me go ahead and type it out really quickly.
Okay.
So let me put it up here.
Is this a zombie? I feel like you may have recommended it to me. It sounds like it's familiar. I definitely know I haven't heard it from someone else. So if I had heard it, it was probably from you. Also, I'll have to check that out. So
All
yeah,
right, so
especially if it's a
let me
smaller
let me
one,
tell
it'd
you
be
about this
easier
one really
to
quickly.
watch it.
Is this a zombie? Super funny to me. It's hitting, punching, kicking my funny bone. That's how funny it is to me. Protagonist is kind of lazy, but there's a reason why he's kind of lazy. Uh, it's is this a zombie, man? Just think about it for a second. It's not the zombie anime that you're thinking about, but basically the spirits or bad things show up. They have to go out and kick butt. That's all I'm gonna give you. You understand? Because it was so good that he couldn't even get truck done. That's what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to answer the question, because I kind of went off on a tangent.
All right, thank you
If you're
for
going,
showing up, Brian's Ambitions, really quickly. Once again, enjoy the chat. Got to go. Duty calls, night shift problems. Thank you for stopping by and telling us your team, DBZ. I appreciated that.
To answer the question earlier of where to watch the animes from, I know if you have a Hulu account, there is a lot of good animes on there, and they do have it sub and dub. A lot of them sometimes Netflix, I've heard, has a number of them. Funimation, I was watching for a while on there. I've heard people have had issues with the app sometimes. I know there was near the end before I canceled mine. There were times where I couldn't log in. You have certain issues, but Funimation does have a lot of good quality ones on that you could watch. I never did really watch Crunchyroll as much because I think Crunchyroll was a lot more from what I saw.
Crunchyroll has too many of the same commercials. If you do decide to not pay for it, like it's the same. It was like, to my knowledge, what I remember, it was this McDonald's commercial that just kept playing. It's a random red couch. Oh my!
I've been through that stuff where we were. I think we have our Sling TV, and there was for some reason they would only show the same one commercial nonstop
Oh
every
my
time,
god.
and it's just like, okay, well, we get it. You had to have gotten other sponsors than just this one. Like, come on now, like,
Nope, only sponsor.
yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, so some of those ones are definitely good ones to check out if you're if you're looking for. Um, I don't want to go out and name any of the ones that are a little bit um uh uh
Well, I mean, if
a
you're talking
little,
about AnimeTube for the apps, it's on Microsoft Store and it's on the phone, so it's got to be legal, right?
well, I
AnimeTube.
mean, the one I would say, the only thing I know that I've had a few pop-ups every so often is the Kiss anime.
Don't say that one. You'll get in trouble saying that one because that
Yeah,
one
see,
doesn't
that's
have
what I was
the.
worried about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
but
ones I
yeah,
was saying, AnimeTube, it actually has a legit spot on the Microsoft Store and on your phone app. Like if you go into Google Play or whatever, whichever version you use, it'll be on there for you. It'll say AnimeTube, and you just type in the names of the anime you want to watch. I can recommend you a lot of good ones. You said you stopped watching them and you want to get back into it. The one that I was just talking about, Demon Slayer, has great pacing. Story's all right, and it's like 20 something episodes. It's not bad. I think it's 15 episodes actually. If I
plus
remember,
they got that movie out right now that's doing.
I haven't seen the movie.
I haven't
Everyone,
seen it.
everyone
Everyone
is
is.
like, hey, everyone's like that movie's so good, but it's so sad, and I'm like, I don't think anything can top No Game No Life this movie. Like, if you haven't seen No Game No Life, it's basically this brother and his sister. They were the strongest people that played a video game, right? And they named themselves something epic as heck. And because they got so bored with life, they never left outside. They got transported into another world. You got this. You got this. Oh yeah, that's that motivation. I wish Brian's ambition was there to see that one, but they get transferred. And they now, when they're transferred to this world, since they're human, they're transferred to the human side. They got demigods. They have beast people. They have angels, demons. All these people are trying to occupy territories. And what they got to do is bring the humans back from the extinct of extinction. You get what I'm saying? So they have to play mind games, right? Because because they're so smart from the games they're playing, they have to challenge these different races for land and stuff by playing mind games and physical battles. So when that happens, I'm man, look, the second season didn't come out yet, so I'm a little upset over it. But when the movie came out, it was about the past versions of them two. When I say this is one of the saddest movies I ever seen in anime, and where I couldn't hold that one single tear that dropped right here, I couldn't suck it back in, bro. Hey, it touched me, and now I see how you're looking right now. Sociopath Batman, you're like, bro, I
Oh
ain't never been that invested in anime, and
no,
it made me have that one single
I
tear.
have. The funny thing was, and the weird part was is that I knew it was going to happen, but when it happened, I wasn't prepared for it. Was in Dragon Ball when you get the first real important death that you
Mm,
know about. That
mm.
real first, because I knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't know how it's gonna happen. And then then they even like play into it near the end of that episode. It's just all these pans
Flashbacks.
between both these guys, and
Ah,
so it's coming up. But even like the moment it happened, I was like, and like I had to take a moment because it was a sad moment. I knew it was coming, but the impact it had on me, I was not prepared for it, and it was just like, so when you hit that next episode and you see this the results of it, and you see the anger that this person has because of because this person has died, uh you can feel that. You can feel that anger. You can feel
mhm.
that emotion. You can feel, like you just lost your best friend, or someone that meant someone to you.
Hey
The
Jerry, bro, why you trying to take me down this road again, bro? I'm reliving that kick to the head 24/7, bro. Right now, just because you're talking about it, man. Why you want to do this to me? You want to see that one single tear, bro? I could probably squeeze it out right now.
There's the moment, in Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu saga, Vegeta hugging Trunks.
Did not see that coming when I first watched that, bro.
I mean, that moment where you have that moment between them where he says, Trunks, I've never even hugged you, and that that bond between them where you see Vegeta, who has just this basically fu type of attitude towards the majority of people. Get out of my way. It's all about me. If you get in my way, you're gonna be a problem type thing. And for this one moment, you see him actually be a freaking person, have emotion, and actually care for the one person, that other than the one person that really actually means anything to him at this moment. Because prior to that, the Vegeta and Trunks' relationship is not that great. So to see him, take and hug Trunks before this epic moment that takes place after that, that's another one of those moments. Like, I knew it was coming, but when it hit, I was not prepared for the way I was gonna feel when I saw it. So yeah, I mean, I have had a few of those tearjerker ones, just from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and then One Piece has gotten a few of those moments. I mean, the
Hero Academia has that moment. Have you not reached it?
uh,
Where All Might fought All for One. Are you there yet?
not yet. But even is the end of near the end of season one of My Hero Academia, where when you first really see the villains come in, and you see the heroes are like the big heroes, not the
Yeah.
students, but the heroes. You see freaking, the I forget what the astronaut looking girl was, but like number two, I think was her name or something like that.
Yeah.
But you see her like nearly freaking die from her own move trying to defend the kids, and then even I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't know why I'm drawing Eraserhead. Like, seeing what happens with Eraserhead, like I thought like, oh shoot, like this is the end. Like, he's done. Um,
Yeah.
that was another one of those moments where you're just like, oh shit, like things hit the fan. Like,
See, for that anime, bro, the one thing that got me tear jerked was when All Might went to Deku's mother, and he just kind of, did the prostration, bro. That it, woo. Hey, let's just say they welled up inside, for a little bit. But to let you know, what really slice of life anime, bro. That's the one that makes me tear jerk the most. Sometimes I'm just like, bro, I'm expecting it to happen. Come around that corner, I know you coming. That's what made me make this one here. This is the same. This is the whole reason I made this here.
I sent you a list of slice of life anime.
Yeah, I got them, man. I'm excited for my first slice of life anime. Man, this ain't half bad for something with no action. You got this, Kimiko. Just tell them how you feel. Keep forgetting it's turned around. So if you like the main character, everything's good. It's me attempting to sing. Life struggles, I pray for me. And then this happens.
Have to do with truck gun? Truck gun, why'd you have to do with truck gun?
You see what I have to deal with?
Now I can't finish this anime.
Finally got back from spoiling Demon Slayer.
You see what I'm saying and stuff like that, man? I made that there due to the fact that slice of life anime is going crazy. It's like you're liking this main character. Next thing you know, see you like truck con right there on the spot. Okay, we got paper bag talking here. Big Smooth though, what it do, fam? Hey, bag that paper bag. He said, "What it do, Jay?"
Bag that.
You already know. So again, going back, Lexi, why you say, "Oh my god"? It's that slice of life is something different. I'm telling you, it's oh man, it's acquired taste, but it's also so good. Like just from the standpoint of the story and emotions that are tied down with it, it I don't understand how to explain it, but
I can definitely say it's got the anime style to it. A really great game that has a great. If you're playing through, um, had that at the very end of it, had me in tears, had me crying, had me going like, "Oh my god,
which
what
one
did
was that?
I just witness?" Like, totally could not deal with myself. Amazing game though. Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I
Um,
told you it wasn't
has
Xenoverse, man. We were saying
Oh, see,
Xenoverse last
I was
night.
yeah Xenoverse because I kept thinking it was Xenoverse, but yeah, it was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 'Cause I looked at my Switch today and I saw it was
Yeah,
called up. I was
I
like,
was
oh, what
like,
is
huh?
wrong? But yeah, has like a very anime look to it. I'm sure the Xenoblade Chronicles might be an anime or a manga that I'm not aware of, but I do know the games. I played the second one. Uh, just amazing. Just you are. I did not realize I was going to get attached to the characters the way I was, the way the story was built, and there is a moment even in not so much the middle, but it's kind of like the three quarters in where someone who has been with you from from near the beginning, who's kind of been like a rough around the edges towards you, had a hard, has this moment where she almost like where they almost basically sacrifice themselves and give them give away a secret that they've been hiding to this person, and in this moment it's just it grabs you and you're just in tears because you're feeling what this person is putting out there.
Yeah,
um like I said, I don't want to spoil, the game. It is an amazing game. It is well worth picking up. But yeah, it has that anime thing. So like I said, there are plenty of animes out there that I'm sure that can grab you. And like I said, it could be a slice of life. It could be a horror based one. It could be Shonen Jump, or was I believe the female word is shoujo.
yeah, Shoujo.
Shoujo, yeah. Yeah.
Have y'all
So I
ever
mean,
got hate for being into anime, either now or when you were younger? If you don't mind me asking. Okay.
all the time.
All right.
My
So
family does not understand why I'm into anime. Especially my mom. Whenever she's ever seen me watch it, she shrugs, rolls her eyes, and says, "Why are you watching cartoons? You're an adult." I said, "I'm not watching cartoons. I'm watching anime. This is grown up shit."
all right. So when I was younger, when I was into anime, I it was never bad because most of the people. Let me go ahead and pin that back up here real quick. Most of the people that I was around, they all did the same thing or like the same thing. I also played basketball, football, soccer, baseball. So I was also on the jock side of things as well. So I like to always say that I was a jock nerd. So I got the best of both worlds. And because, I was always kind of a bigger guy, nobody really just said, you watch anime, haha. They didn't really try to do anything like that to me. Uh, have y'all ever got hate for being into anime either now or when you were younger? I mean, where I am now, a lot of my friends at first, especially when I was posting stuff to my Facebook and things of that sort, some of them didn't understand. They were sending me messages like everything okay, like you sure you want to be doing this and things of that sort. And I was like, yeah, I do. Like I enjoy it. Like I even if I look silly doing it, I'm having fun. You know,
Yeah.
my family has fun with it. My brother here, sociopath Batman's having fun with it. It's just a part of me now, like a part of the culture. There's not any times where I would go somewhere and watch a regular TV show and say, man, I really love these over anime. They're kind of equal. But when I really want to just see some bad assery, for lack of a better word, I go to anime because that's what it's going to give it to me every single time, you know? So I dealt with some of the hate with it.
The conditions I dealt with it when I was younger, especially being the fact that I was into Yu-Gi-Oh, and so when you're coming to school with a folder or a deck of cards, and you're sitting there on your lunch period while everyone else is chilling and eating their lunch, and you're sitting there on the ground and you're trading cards with people or playing a card game with people, you kind of get looked down on. People weren't understanding of that. They looked at that and said, "Well, what is this weirdo doing? Like, look at this loser." So I do know, and when I was younger, there was a bit of hate on that. But I can definitely say, that I still have all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards still. So
Mm,
I ain't giving those up. It didn't affect me in any way. I kept it going. I'm rocking my
exactly.
Blue Eyes White Dragon T-shirt, and so you know people are gonna hate. People I know at during the time when we were watching anime or getting into anime, anime wasn't as acceptable at that time. It was kind of the hush hush thing. You kind of, if you were watching it, you weren't going and telling your friends exactly what you were doing. And if you were watching it on the bus, you had to watch out with what was going on because some of the stuff on there was a little bit especially if you're watching Dragon Ball with Master
Because
Katsuoshi.
you know how it is. If you're watching anime, let's say someone walks in the room, or if you're watching anime and someone just passed by you, it's always on a scene that shouldn't
Yeah,
be seen by other people. You know,
yeah,
that's what he's referring to right now.
yeah,
And it's always like that for no reason. It's like,
yeah.
what are you watching?
Why
And
are these
why
girls not wearing very many clothes and these guys all have nosebleeds right now?
exactly? So it comes down to a lot. Like I said, I was a jock nerd, so I knew a lot of other football players who watched the same things. They were into Monster Rancher. They were into a lot of different video games that other people wouldn't play, while everyone else was playing Madden, MLB, and stuff like that. We were playing Monster Rancher, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, just a whole bunch of different things, and watching anime. And when I lived where Jerry was living, him and me, we used to go around an apartment complex and playing Yu-Gi-Oh. We had our friend Ben, who was Chinese, like, and he didn't really get out the house too much, but he started coming out the house a lot more when we started playing Yu-Gi-Oh with him. I remember our high school, Jay, when I first started going there, we used to go to the library, and then at the library there were so many people at the library. It was just so many people playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Man, my brother and Jerry set up a business that we're not going to discuss. So where you get them from, Jerry? How you remember them, man?
I had to go and pick them up. We're talking about the origin stories and
Hey,
stuff, and
you know it.
you can't talk about the origin stories without the duplex cookies
Oh yeah,
and
still my
stuff.
favorites
So
to this day. Like I eat Oreos, I could eat Chips Ahoy, but when I'm just really feeling or feeding for cookies, I say, hey,
you want to
eat
know
it.
the really sucky part now is that I just went by the area, and apparently that 99 cent store ain't there anymore, and I was really feeling it, dude. Because that right there was that's basically my
That's
childhood right there. Going in there
back
and
when I was
getting those
small
damn
enough to fit
cookies.
through the
So
little sliding thing we
yeah,
used to slide through, man.
yeah.
You know,
Make sure there was no spiders, webs up in that those
exactly.
things. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean the way anime was at that time, you weren't necessarily going about bragging about being an anime fan when you were younger. Nowadays, it's like it's a little bit more acceptable. You still got
A
people that are
little bit.
judging you.
It's a lot more acceptable,
Yeah.
like especially for
Well, I
the
mean,
younger generation to
yeah,
the
by the
mid.
younger generation. If you're an older generation, it's still there are certain people who still look down at you and be like, "Well, you're an adult. Why are you watching this?" And I'm like,
Well,
"Hey,
because if you put it like that, think about it. The people that we kind of grew up with who didn't like it, who always looked that way towards it, they're the same people at our same generation. So some of them will still feel the same way. But see, in my experience, I know some of the people who used to talk down on it, they're starting to watch it now. They're starting to receive it because the times change. And when they're asking around, like, "Hey, what are you watching? What are you watching?" I'm watching anime. Bro, you actually watch that? Yeah, bro. Check this out. They're boxing. You get what I'm saying? Because of the fight scenes and stuff, it brings a lot of people into it. So they get excited. They're like, "Oh, bro, wait. I seen boxing and they had a story. I want to go deeper in this, bro. What's the name of this?" And then after that, they start going down the list. They start
Well,
going down the list.
not
What's up?
not to mention that you've got different animes now that literally
Caters to
focus on
everybody.
just freaking anything. I mean, I remember the first time I heard about that, Cells at Work. We're literally about a show that they turn an anime about the human
The
body,
human
and
body.
I heard that a lot of it actually pretty like on
You
par
let
to
me
like
guess. You
what
watched the
actually
Doctor
happened,
anime, right?
which is pretty cool. I mean, they took science and they made it interesting enough in a way that you could enjoy it, you could take it in, and you're learning something without even realizing
Nothing
you're
is
fully learning
ever
it.
boring. It's how you're
Yeah.
introduced to it. That's the
And
one
I,
thing that I like to say a lot.
and I feel like that a lot of people who may not have gotten maybe looked at anime when they were younger and said, "I'm not. That's not my thing." Don't give up on it, because there were a lot of things that I looked at when I was younger that it didn't grasp me the right way because I wasn't able to understand it. It wasn't I hadn't reached that point in my life where I've experienced something or have been in a situation or have seen something that struck me and connected with me in that way. I know that when a key element or a very good example, it's not an anime, but it is one of those things that has become very popular now, more recently than anything, is the show The Office. I wasn't a fan of The Office when it first aired. I remember it airing during the time when I was getting right out of high school and getting into my job. I got my first job washing cars. Um, but as it was airing during that time, I wasn't experiencing that workspace because I was outside working, washing cars. I wasn't in a workspace around people like that. So, like I said, it wasn't hitting me at that point. And then I work in a grocery store, and I've been working in a grocery for so long. And even though it's not the same type of format as a paper company, I have worked with a lot of people and been in a lot of situations that reminded me of things that were in the office. And so by that time, that when I finally did get to start watching it, I was able to understand it and appreciate it. And because I had been through some of those situations, I met some of those people, and it was like, oh well, now I can understand it. And that was the same way it's been with anime. Was you know, uh, uh, going back to when when we first met and when we were watching playing Yu-Gi-Oh and watching Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I said, while we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you had Dragon Ball Z on in the background, and I just
You,
could not get into this. It was so weird to me. I'm thinking,
it's
what is
because
with
you
this
probably just
bubblegum
hearing people
man?
screaming.
I kept saying, why? What's the story with this bubblegum man? And then every time I looked around, the bubblegum man was a different person, and I'm like, I don't get this. And you're just like, oh my god, this is this and this and this and this, and I'm like, I'm lost, dude.
Yeah, you
You're
didn't get it
speaking
from the
gibberish to me
beginning.
right now, and I wasn't able to appreciate it. And then now I got into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z only last year, and watching it when I did, when a lot of people would say, hey,
I'll be
you're
right back. I'm having
um,
connection issues.
a lot of people who said, "Oh yeah, if you're getting into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z at this time, you're not going to enjoy it the way you might have enjoyed it when it first aired because it didn't age well." But I can tell you what, I watched it from start to finish, every filler episode, including the Garlic Junior saga, which I was not a big fan of. For the most part, I mean, it's been a good show. It's grabbed my attention. It's connected me with the show in ways that I didn't think it was going to connect me. I fell into it really hard without realizing I was going to fall into it hard, um, and I was able to connect with the character. I liked the idea of Goku because for me, I'm used to my my protagonist kind of being more rough around the edges, being more edgy, the neutral, vigilante, kind of does things his own way. And Goku kind of was more of the innocent. You know, uh, he was he was blissfully ignorant, but at the same time he was a good character and he was for good. And it was that Goku doesn't really do wrong, and he was pure of heart, and you know um he doesn't have that mentality to understand what uh a lot of the what bad stuff actually is. So you know when you get the jokes with the peachy peachy girls and the magazines and stuff, it goes over Goku's head. He doesn't understand that stuff. And so, you know, you have a very pure character who, you know, basically, you know, kind of stays that pure character from start to finish and is kind of goofy, you know, and is because of it, you know, as he is an adult. But at the same time, can have those serious moments where when the going gets tough, like you saw when Krillin dies, like he goes, you know, it gives him uh, the power to become Super Saiyan to the point that you know he says, hey, you have wronged me, you have wronged my friends. Now I'm gonna screw you up. I'm gonna mess you up. No more
Mhm.
game. No more playing around. This is you're going down now. And so to be able to appreciate that, you know, for what it was, um, from start to finish, like I'm still in the Majin Buu saga, but I can appreciate it now. I can experience. I get to experience anime and appreciate it in a better way than I was when I was younger, and take in things and realize that this is not cartoons. These are stories that have meaning to them, and even if they are a little bit goofy sometimes, like there's a reason, you know, behind the general behind everything, behind the jokes. There is a true reason and why I'm watching this. You know, for there's a deeper reason past the goofy, you know, the goofiness of it. That you know that there is a deeper deeper meaning.
Yeah, and I do understand that. And kind of like until someone who looks down on anime or whatever watches a particular anime, they're not going to understand it. Even if you show them one that's really good to you, they're not going to take the time to try to understand that. But if you can find out what TV show they like or what type of TV show they like, and you introduce them to an anime variant of it, 9 times out of 10, they'll usually accept that and actually give it a try if they're listening to it. Some people, that 1 out of 10%, they won't even give you that try for it. You know,
I would even say even try to find one that's basically like maybe of a movie. I mean, if you can find one that's a movie, you get the story that's being told, but you don't have to be completely invested into watching all these episodes. You invest, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours of your time into something, and you still get you can still get a good feeling. I know one of the ones that I have seen that was really good was Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is a really good psychological thriller, and that one came out, I believe, in '97.
hmm
It is. I would definitely recommend. I watched it dubbed. It is a little bit. It's not horrible, but I think it was one of those ones you probably could really enjoy actually watching it dubbed. Um,
yeah,
so I would say Perfect Blue. If you have to watch it dubbed, like I said, it's not bad. You can kind of tell um, the the time delay a little bit. The voices don't exactly complete match up on there because
oh,
it
that's gonna irk me.
that's why it kind of bugged me a little bit
That's
because
gonna irk me, man.
yeah. So I feel like if you're gonna do that, might as well just watch it sub. It wasn't horrible, but yeah, there were moments where you could kind of tell like the mouths were moving a little bit, but it didn't fully match on, and like so yeah, there was that moment where it just didn't fully.
I don't know why you just reminded me of Kung Pao Chicken, like the actual TV shows they had. Oh, the one boob lady and all that, man.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
funny.
that one. Kung Pao into the fist.
Into the
Yeah.
fists.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I took my dad, my sister, because I wanted to see that, and we went to the movie theater. My dad at the end of it goes, "That was the stupidest fucking thing we've seen. Like,
he
what the
probably
hell
took
did you
it.
have me watch?"
He
And
probably
I'm
took it
like,
at face
I didn't
value.
know that was what it was gonna be either, but I thought it was funny. Like,
Yeah, Will. I remember that, man. Like that movie had me bugging. But uh, for somebody that likes action, my recommendation as far as an anime is going to go, just like straight up action that they can get into like really quickly. I already said it earlier, Demon Slayer. It's highly digestible. Another one I would
Cowboy
say,
Bebop.
well, some people don't want to watch Cowboy Bebop though because they're like space and then you're down on the planet type stuff. Some people don't like them that different thing because it's
And the
too far out
music
of that
too.
grass.
Maybe people,
Yeah.
because the music, I didn't think I was gonna like the music, but the music is very pivotal to the way it goes in. Like when you get some of those fight scenes and Spike is throwing
Hmm.
kicks and punches out, and they got that jazz music playing in the background.
You
It
just know it's a
it
bad
hits
A you're
right.
dealing with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hits right, and I was like, and it worked. So yeah, I can definitely say if you're not a fan of that type of music, it could actually deter you from wanting to continue to watch that.
That's also like Samurai Champloo though, because
I do want to watch
Samurai
that one. I think
Champloo
that one's pretty good.
Samurai Champloo has some really great music as well, and the fighting is pretty good, and the story on it is pretty good.
I
It's
believe
taken
that was the one
place
that has the
during
rap
the Meiji.
music to the background,
Uh-huh.
right? It's like hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was really good. So they tried to do the same thing. Crunchyroll tried to do the same thing with this anime called God of High School. Now, to me, it wasn't as bad, but the name kind of was because the tournament they were fighting in was the God of High School. Like you have to think about that for a second. Why was that your choice of name? That would be my question. You could have made it something a different name and people would have loved it. The pacing was pretty fast, like faster than Demon Slayer. So a lot of people didn't really give it a chance. But when it comes to introducing people into anime, I feel we need to it'll be like a list or whatever. Easy, medium, then hard. I'm gonna cue the video. You knew it was coming, Jerry. Look at that anime list I sent you, bro. Yeah, I got it. Something strange about it though. Hold up. Make sure you watch them in order. Oh, what, man? You talking about this list got easy, medium, and hard anime? Bruh, ain't no way anime can be freaking hard. Under no circumstances should you ever start at the bottom of that list, bro. Don't ask me why, just don't do it. Alright, man, alright. I'll take your word for it, man. I'm about to go ahead and go check these out. Man, it's been 2 days. Where this man at, bro? I need to go check on him, cuz. Yo, bro. You in here? Bro, we've been looking for you. We've been asking about you. You good? Bro. Come on, bro. Get from under them covers, bro. Bajikan. Save him, Takamichi. Subaru. Save Amelia. Save Betty. Oh, Aaron's mom. Don't do it, Beast Titan. Don't do it. Sasha. You're lying, April. Y'all lied to me. Look at you. Stupid. Stupid. I told you. Don't even do it. I told you to start up here, but nah, you wanted to start down there. I don't even feel sorry for you, bro. You brought this on yourself, bro. Look at that. Can't even move. Crying. Yeah, so to stop
The
situations like that from happening, that's why the list
Subaru
is
the
there.
Betty thing is now making me curious because that's a ReZero thing, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
ReZero.
So
The
I'm really
save
curious
Amelia,
now because
save.
I know what Betty is, and I'm like, what is? Why you gotta say Betty?
Hey, let's just say season two. That's all I got. But the first thing you probably wouldn't understand because I don't think you watched Tokyo Revengers yet.
No, yeah, no.
Well, when I said Bajikan, you remember I was telling you about that earlier, and then I was
Yeah.
like Takamichi. Well, remember Takamichi is the one who goes from the future to the past to try to stop people from dying type deal. And that's why, the one character that watched the bottom episodes, the hard ones, that's why that character was in that state because of that. I threw this one together like I just wanted to do it, because I like to introduce people into anime, you know.
We all know that One Piece is, it's an easy one.
uh we I don't know. There's so many, man. Look, so many people dislike One Piece. I don't even understand the hate that it gets. Now, I know sometimes the villains can be ridiculous. Like once you get further in, there's a dude who always has a steak on his face, and it's just there because he ate steak earlier, and they just never removed it. So it should start smelling soon, but it doesn't. It One Piece is a good anime. Someone can argue their point to me. If anyone in here wants to argue One Piece is bad, just go and argue it. I'm not gonna talk down on you or anything. I want to hear you out. Same way with Dragon Ball Z. Same way the people who feel like that versus Naruto. You know, maybe we can do one of these about arguing people's point on an anime being trash. I feel like that'll be another good topic, and we probably can. We'll have to do it next week, and probably or the next one, not next week. We can do it some other time, because we got to sort through a lot of this stuff, man. You and me got a lot of work to do on top of the work that you already got to do, So, and thank you guys and girls for watching with us. This is going to be the end of this stream for today. So we all can lay back, relax, and rest. I hope you all enjoyed what we were talking about and felt like you were a part of the conversation. I'm still going to be trying to drop some skits throughout the week as well. Who knows? You might even see Sociopath Batman in there as well. Doing some skit action. We're trying to grow our channel. If you like our content, if you got to the end of this video, I want to first say thank you. And if you end up liking this content, it'll be cool if you could share some of the content so we can grow on YouTube. That way we can get a bigger budget, and that way we can do bigger skits and better production quality and stuff like that. Like my camera died. Now, do you see the quality of this video? See, I could have had a second one. I'm just playing. I wouldn't put it on that. It'd be more on costumes, because I want to continuously to do what I'm doing to entertain you guys. And that's me closing out. So it's your Pat Batman. Do you have a word for him? You have the floor.
Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for giving us your time. This is definitely something that we have put some thought into wanting to do for quite some time. This is something that we have spent a lot of time in our free time doing, and we realized this is something that we should expand upon and have see what other people think about it. So we appreciate you guys giving us the time to put in, and just like, subscribe, share, help us grow. Tell your friends about us. If there are topics that you would like us to talk about,
tell your friends about me.
Pretty much just want to say thank you again, and I'm good. Have a great night.